You had a video for your J Fingers YouTube channel on late bloomers, and one thing I found interesting was a comment that was underneath the video, and that was someone put that age 35 was a sweet spot for screenwriters. Thought that was interesting. Any thoughts on that?
Yeah, I saw that comment and I kind of agreed with it. You know, I felt that if I'd continued, on my trajectory, had I not taken like that little break or whatever, or had I like maybe moved out to LA sooner, that I probably would have found success at around 35. So I agreed with that sentiment, and I think there's some truth to that, because when you're in your 20s, you're young and dumb. I was, I certainly thought that, oh, this is going to happen, and of course things don't turn out that way. But by the time you reach your 30s, you've got a certain amount of life experience that I think that life experience is absolutely necessary, for screenwriting. And I think that you've got the necessary life experience by that point. And it's right before I think the industry starts to look at you in a certain way, because if we're going to be honest, ageism is a thing, and I know that there are successful screenwriters, who in their 40s, 50s, 60s, and beyond. But I do think that that people may look at an emerging screenwriter of a certain age, kind of like, why? Why has it taken you this long? It could be for any variety of reasons. I certainly know screenwriters who decided that they didn't want to pursue screenwriting until they were in their 50s. And that's fantastic. If they've got the talent and the drive, and they can certainly succeed. But I do think that there's a bit of ageism, that comes into play. So 35 is definitely the sweet spot. It's before you get looked at, but after you've got the life experience and you know what you're doing.
When did you start feeling that writing screenplays wasn't enough to advance your career?
It's really, that's a recent feeling. Yeah, because for a long time I thought that that's all I had to do, just write a screenplay, and then that's it. Everyone's coming to me. I've got the gold, right? So yeah, I've really though just come to realize that I've probably got to do more. That may entail like making a short film, which is something that I'm thinking of doing. But yeah, I just have to find other ways to just kind of stand out, get my work out there. I've got to figure it out. Yeah.
What new strategies are you thinking of for moving your screenwriting career forward? You talked about possibly doing a short film.
Right. Which for me, that's the biggest thing. Simply because it will showcase my writing, but it's also something that people can see. I think a short film, I think that people are a lot more receptive to watching a 10-minute short film than they are sitting down with a 100-page screenplay. And I just think that that can something like a short film can get my strengths as a writer across. With dialogue and character development, all those things. Aside from that, just really trying to network, just make sure that I'm out there to build community, speak with people. I think that's really the important thing, is to really just kind of like build that community, because this is a business that's built on relationships. And if someone knows someone that can help, then maybe a connection can be made. And I don't mean that in like a selfish way. I'm not just trying to make friends just to break in, but that's just the way the world works. And I've always been like that. I've always been the type of person to connect and help whenever I can. So I just need to, I feel I just need to ramp that up a little more as far as screenwriting in film is concerned.
Do you think at some point it's wise though to fly the coop? I mean, groups are great, and it's wonderful to have supportive people, and it is a business of relationships. But then at some point, to just know that it's the engine of Jay that has to get this out.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah, yeah, yeah. I feel that the group is great so that, we have that base and we have that community. But I also think that the expectation is that we will fly off, into, our own directions and create our own paths. I mean, it'd be awesome if someone in the group, is able to, turn around and reach back and pull someone up. I would love to, help someone out in the group if I ever can. But like I said, I think that it is expected for us to kind of go out and do our own thing.
With your mentor, Jay, are there things that he's been teaching you about the business, not just craft, that have been helpful to you?
Yeah, the biggest thing is to just be aware of the business of the business. To ensure that you've got a great team in place. You're going to want your manager and agent or agent, but you're also going to want to have a great accountant. You're going to want to have, a great attorney, and an attorney that knows entertainment law. You just make sure that you understand the contracts, the deals that you're signing into. You don't have to, because legalese is a whole other language of its own. So, you don't have to know like the entire 50-page contract or whatever, but at least understand what it entails, what people are expecting, of you. What are your expectations? Make sure that they're laid out and make sure that, your wants are covered as well. So those have been the biggest things.
How often this might happen to a new writer, where something else is in the zeitgeist at the same time, gets made, and there's a feeling of, what if that was my script?
I mean, I honestly don't know really that happens often. Uh, I always hear that it's cheaper to just buy the script, than to steal the idea or steal the script, because litigation and this, that, and the other. So yeah, I mean, I honestly don't hear very many stories at all of screenplays being stolen or ideas being stolen. It's just one of those things that happens. I do believe I saw a video, film courage video. Oh, I can't remember the filmmaker's name, but he did say that he had an experience where his script was stolen, and he talked about what he would have done differently. But I honestly feel, just based on what I've heard and everything, I just honestly feel that that's not that commonplace. Maybe that's just my naivete, coming to the fore. But yeah, I honestly don't have a fear of stolen ideas or screenplays.